In 2010, a man paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 Papa John's pizzas. The deal cost him like 40 bucks at the time, but that amount in Bitcoin today, you get the idea.
When I say Bitcoin, you say what? Pizza?
That story has sat in the back of the brain of anyone who's ever thought about using their cryptocurrency like currency. But things have changed a lot since then, because there's never been more ways you can use your crypto to buy things in the real world. So let's start with the end in mind, because whether it's your own or your loved ones, you can actually pay for a funeral in nothing but crypto. Minnesota's, shout out to Minnesota, that's where I grew up, Minnesota's Crescent Tide Funeral Services will give you the option to pay in cryptocurrency. And they were way ahead of the curve on this. They've been doing this since 2014. And this sounds a little bit out of left field, but I suppose it makes sense that if a crypto investor dies, their family can then use that money to bury or cremate them as long as they know the seed phrase and they happen to live in Minnesota. Let's not think too much about the logistics here because I want to be buried in style. Another product I wanted to investigate were reports on a gold mine that you can buy with Bitcoin. And for you crypto folk wondering what gold is, you can think of it like Bitcoin if Bitcoin were a rock that you can hold. That's gold. This mine is for sale for about $2 million in Bitcoin, meaning you could parlay your digital store of value into a physical one. The real trick here would be if this mine happens to also sit in an opportunity zone so you don't have to pay capital gains tax on your Bitcoin sale. Who knows? Now, the original listing could be found on a now defunct luxury website, and I couldn't find confirmation whether it had actually been sold or not. If anyone did buy the property, it would have come with about $1 million worth of mining equipment and the potential to produce about 4,000 ounces of gold per year, or about $7.2 million worth. Honestly, it seems a little bit too good to be true, but then again, that's coming from someone who knows literally nothing about gold mining, and because of this, I did send out a few feelers to other gold mines for sale because it turns out you can actually own a gold mine for less than the average home price. So something tells me that offering Bitcoin to any of these sellers won't get me very far, but it's not going to stop me. Now, luxury goods have been part of the crypto narrative for close to a decade now, and I think the reason for that is early Bitcoin investors saw themselves with 500 Bitcoin and still no girlfriend. So the next logical step is, of course, to buy a Lambo. Luckily, there are several online marketplaces that will let you purchase Lamborghinis, gold rings, homes, or even this $11,000 painting of Vitalik Buterin. Unfortunately, that treasure isn't available anymore, but something I did find was this 18th century samurai armor. Now, I'm not a historian, so I can't speak to the authenticity of this artifact, but I can tell you that buying this bad boy could bring you just one step closer to landing that girlfriend. Because if there's anything I know about women, it's that they love questionably authentic 18th century samurai armor specifically. Let's get back on track, because I found out back in the day, you were able to buy Somalian goats with crypto. The idea was that this would act as a kind of funding mechanism to help farmers grow livestock with the faint promise of profits on the sale of animals at a later point. Believe it or not, the idea didn't take off. Later, the project said, quote, "Goats were never our mission." I feel like this is kind of an excuse because they also said the goat and sheep farm was plagued with challenges on the onset. And let me tell you, at this point I was hooked. I needed to know what happened to this farm. So I did a bit more digging to find out that they received about $75,000 in total investment. However, things weren't going well because they said, and I quote, "The process of figuring out the repayment has not been easy." So you're telling me they're like, man, the math here, it's been tough. I just don't think, we're not going to be able to pay you back. Jim over here, he's been on the spreadsheets all day long. He can't figure out. I just don't think it's going to work out. So I had to look even further and try to figure out what exactly went wrong in this farm. Because remember, they said they were plagued with problems. And it turns out they had a bit of an issue where someone took hundreds of animals from them and just never paid them back. And that set them back a little bit, but that wasn't the end of Ali Farm. The end came when, quote, "Our last office was destroyed by an explosion in February." What? This is real. I found some pictures. So due to a series of unfortunate events, this forced them to later rebrand, diversifying away from those pesky goats and instead on helping farmers build greenhouses, build fish ponds, and camel dairy farms. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never even heard of nor thought about milking a camel, but sure enough, it's a thing. So goats and explosions are a thing of the past, and this led me to check on how their new business is doing. So I pulled up their new site and So moving on, you can actually buy Venus flytraps with crypto. Wicked Botany will sell you an alien Venus flytrap for about $60. Or you could buy a completely different kind of plant. And no, I'm not talking about a certain herb that may or may not be available on the Silk Road paying with crypto. Pex Peppers will sell you their solar fuego hot sauce in exchange for crypto. Now let's get a little bit more serious, because if you're feeling like an international man of mystery, you can actually buy a new citizenship completely with crypto. Both Antigua and Barbuda offer this service. And looking into this, I wanted to find the most bizarre citizenship for sale, and I think I found it. Let me introduce you to Little St. James. Let me introduce you to Satoshi Island, a 32 million square foot island located somewhere between Australia and Fiji. The story goes, a couple years ago, Satoshi Island was available for lease for 20 years for the surprisingly reasonable price of $495,000, of course payable in Bitcoin. And someone took the deal. A company called Satoshi Island Limited is offering citizenship to the island for just 21,000 established NFT investors. All you need to do is buy one of their NFTs and citizenship is yours. Kind of. They don't give you immediate citizenship, but the company will expedite your application of citizenship. Being an NFT holder means you'll be able to visit the island when it opens up, and once you're there, NFT holders will be able to vote on the policies that govern the island. And looking at their bizarre requirements, it kind of sounds like it's part crypto bro, part Lord of the Flies, and part Firefest, all in one island. There's a few simple rules to be a member. You need to, and I quote, be actively engaging with crypto Twitter, meaning you need to have an account with at least 21 followers and follow them on Twitter. Second, when you apply, you actually have to tweet your application to them. And third, you need to have an active OpenSea account and Ethereum address, and that seems to be about it. Now, what I like about Satoshi Island is they don't bother you with pesky government background checks, nor ask about your citizenship status, because let's be honest, that's no one's business. Now, I realize that videos like this kind of add to the relative obscurity that's thrown at crypto as an industry, but the reality that I want to point out is that spending crypto legitimizes it, even just a little bit. It's not surprising that the first ways to spend your crypto are a bit fringe, like Somalian goats. The real issues are taxes and volatility. Using crypto as a payment is a taxable event, and it's not ideal to buy something with an asset that could be worth 10% more or less tomorrow. And because of this, we'll likely see an increase in the use of stablecoins as a medium of exchange and existing services that allow you to pay with crypto anywhere through cash conversions, meaning you could use your crypto to buy this magic money printer on Amazon, or this industrial drinking fountain, or whatever you want to buy. And because of this, I'm working on allowing my Patreon membership to accept crypto as well. It's a bit of a hassle to do, so I'll keep you updated on when I can actually do this, but until then, you'll absolutely want to check out that page. Through the link in the description, you'll receive access to live streams nearly every day, our new 8-part course on NFTs, all my buy and sell alerts, and a whole lot more. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.